Hey everybody, Barry Johns here, and welcome back to another episode of Studio Talk. If you're anything like me, you've gone through ups and downs and roller coasters in your ride along this journey, and you're recording and then capturing your creativity. You know, I think most of us out there probably do this because we enjoy writing our own music. I think there's some out there that actually do this to record other people, and maybe they do that occasionally. But I think most of us are sitting in our homes, in our bedrooms, or a spare bedroom, or a spare space that we've got, and we're using that space to be able to capture and write music that we enjoy creating on our own. And so I don't know about you, but I have been on some big ups and downs throughout my journey with this. You know, there have been times where I find that I'm incredibly creative and everything just seems to be going just perfectly well. And then I'll go through times where I can't even get motivated to write or record anything. And so I don't know if you experience that, but I think it's something that we should all talk about. Last night I was watching a documentary on Prince's last year that he was alive, and kind of, you know, went through that whole year and what kind of occurred. And it just really got me thinking. You know, to me, I don't care what genre of music you like. If you're a musician, you'd be hard pressed not to have nothing but total and utmost respect for the musician that Prince was. First and foremost, he was an incredible musician. Probably I would kill to be able to have his talent, to be able to play all those instruments as well as he played them. On top of that, he was gifted as an amazing songwriter. You know, I think they said last night he was working on his 38th album. That is stunning when you think about that. I mean, absolutely stunning. I hope I remember that right. But regardless whether I got that number right or not, it's a lot. And so obviously the creativity factor really just continuously flowed through him. And we're all blessed with the ability to be able to listen to his music and enjoy it and appreciate his musicianship as well as his songwriting. And so, you know, I have to imagine many of you out there struggle with this from time to time. You know, you find that you're going through slumps, you'll record songs, you're like, you'll like it for a minute and you'll keep listening to it in your car and you'll be like, I don't like that, man, this sucks. And sometimes it can be demotivating where you just want to just throw in the towel and give it all up sometimes. You know, just remember that not all of us can be Prince, but there's so many talented musicians and songwriters out there that go, you know, that only write maybe 2, 3 good songs in a year. You know, I'm talking about great songs. And they've got plenty of time to do it, whereas you and I are working a full-time job. You know, we don't have as much time. And so oftentimes in many bands, there's more than one songwriter, so not all the weight is placed on one person. So don't get disheartened when things aren't going well for you, or maybe it's not sounding as well as you hope it would. The more you practice your recording skills and you really learn great techniques from a production, you know, and an engineering perspective, the better and more likely you're going to be at capturing the music that's in your head to be able to get in everyone else's ears, including your own. So, you know, don't let that get you down. You know, we may not all be blessed with the talent and the musicianship of somebody like Prince, but we can develop our passion and our drive for wanting to be able to try to create as much music as we can. You know, for most of us, the vast majority of us are never going to have our songs heard by a mass group of people. There was a time when I was a teenager, I dreamed of being a rock star. I wanted that more than anything else, you know, and then life settled in and realized, hey, that's just not my path, you know, so, but I've never stopped loving playing the guitar. I'm not a great guitar player. I'm not a bad one, but I'm not a great one. I enjoy playing. I enjoy the art of recording as much as I do playing. And so I know I've got songs that I've written that I'm still very proud of. And some of them I wrote long time ago. And maybe the production value wasn't as good on them as I could do today, you know. And I find it interesting because there's a couple of songs in the past that I'd written that I just happened to capture everything right in that moment. Oftentimes for me, it comes to me off the top of my head and I've got to immediately hit that record button for me to be able to capture every aspect of it. And so, you know, there have been a couple of songs I've tried to re-record and capture it, And I haven't always been that successful at that because it's about the energy, the emotion, the vibe at the time that you're really capturing in a song that's ultimately going to be, liked by a lot of people. And so, I encourage you, don't let this process ever get you down. And if you find that it does, just keep reminding yourself why you do what you do. I mean, if you're in this and you've invested this money and all of your time learning the craft of not only playing your instrument, but also, all of the recording, gear that you purchase, it's easy to get stuck in a rut. So don't let that get you down. Just keep trying, keep plugging away, keep working towards that next song. The more and more you write, the better and better you'll get. Yes, you may write 100 songs and maybe only one of them be something that you want to have everybody listen to. Okay, that's one more than you had, after 99, right? And so, so if you have to write 500 songs to get 5 great songs, then write 500 songs. Because each time you go through the process, you're going to get better. You're going to learn more. Now, what are some things that can get in our way of really being able to capture what's in our head, again, to our ears? And sometimes that is, many of us use, virtual instrument drums, whether it's Superior Drummer, Trigger, or something like that. Today you can get a lot of MIDI packs and things like that, that can give you interesting grooves and fills and, between bridge and chorus and verse and all of those things. And oftentimes I find that I'm trying to write something around that. I'm not very good at programming that stuff. So some of you may be great at that. That's not my thing. So if you do get a song that you really, really, really like, okay, but you've not been able to quite capture it from a rhythm standpoint, from a percussion standpoint, then hook up with a drummer. So at some point when you're ready to actually take that song seriously, you can hook up with a drummer. You don't have to be the best recordist in the world. You don't have to have the greatest mics in the world. You can cheat a little bit by using something like Steven Slate Trigger. You can do drum replacement on that stuff and be able to get the vibe of a real drummer who's reacting to what he or she hears and also is taking your input. So I encourage you every once in a while, go out and try that. Make friends with the drummer. If he or she's in another band, offer to do some recording for them. In return, he comes over and play for you if you don't know each other that well. But I really want to encourage you because that can really make a big, big, big difference. Also, this whole notion of quantizing everything to the grid, I'll be honest with you, that I think this is a talked about discussion, and I'm sure you've heard it before, but that takes the life out of music many times. And so you kind of have to do that when you're using something like a virtual instrument drum software, like, again, Steven Slate Drums or Superior Drummer. You kind of have to do that to some degree, unless you're really good at going in there and adding a swing to it. There's things you can do to help with that, but nothing's ever going to do it like a real drummer. So if you get the opportunity to do that, and it's a song you really know that has, really has potential, then I encourage you to do that. Also, if you're like me, most of the times I play all the instruments on the songs that I write. I'm a guitar player, but I play bass like I play a guitar. I don't think like a bass player, right? And I taught myself how to play basic keyboard. I can do basic chords and fundamental things. I'm not going to do anything fancy. But then again, I'm never going to be able to play it in a way that I hear it in my head. So today there's all kinds of ways to collaborate online. There's all kinds of ways to do that. So search those out. See if you could find other people. You could get into some online forums and find some genre that you're in common with, and maybe you're on the same kind of playing level of playing level of recording and writing as someone else. Ask that person if they'll collaborate with you, and you do the same for them. So think about these things, but don't let the fact that you get stuck in that rut slow you down. It's going to happen. Like everything in life, it goes through peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. We all can't be like Prince and have it hover at the top of that valley the majority of the time we're doing this thing that we love. So keep that in mind. Keep plugging away. Don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up, okay? Keep trying. If you need to walk away from it for a while to clear your head, to find that inspiration, then do that. Okay. Don't do that. I'm sorry, do that. Wait until you find that inspiration, but don't let it wait too long. And I think that's where sometimes if you just, it's like you're going in the wheelhouse and you're just plugging away and plugging away and plugging away, you're going to get better and better, not only at recording, but also in your songwriting. So I encourage you to keep trying the best you can, do the very best you can. And I promise you, you will get some music out and created and recorded that you will be proud of. I promise you, if you do it long enough, regardless of your skill set, regardless of your talent level, you will eventually get some songs that you're going to be very happy with. And then when you do, give them to people, share them. Like most of us doing this in our home recording studios, we're not going to be major rock stars. We're not going to be this. Look at this old face. That's not happening anymore. I don't have any, illusions about that. But you may have that talent to do that. And you may have that songwriting ability, that may be in you. And so if it is, explore that, dive into that, get as much help as you can, learn as much as you can, collaborate as much as you can, do all the things, whatever it takes to help you get your ideas in your heart, because that's where it's got to start first, and then the melody in your head and all of those things until ultimately you can capture the song the way you envisioned it. All right. So if you like the things I talk about on this channel, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Truly, if you've watched this long, it only takes you a second. That really helps me grow the channel, and I'd like to get this content out there to more people. So until next time, I hope all of you have a great day.